A very good morning, class. We were dealing with the Gupta age, and we began with Sri Gupta, the founder of Gupta dynasty. We even talked about the Chandragupta I, whose major achievement was on extension of the Gupta dynasty. He played a key role in the extension of the empire beyond all the levels. He was followed up by his son Samudgupta, who was known to be a very strong ruler in the history of India, a great ruler in the history of India. The major reasons behind this, why the historians consider him as the greatest ruler in the history of India, is that he was a person who was blessed with multi talents. Means there were major talents which he owned. Like he was he was a great warrior, he was a great scholar, he was a musician, he was a warrior, he even had the knowledge of astronomy. He was very benevolent, he was very kind towards his subject, he understood the subject, he managed the great military system in the most efficient manner, and he took many wise decisions which resulted in the growth and development of the Gupta dynasty. The reason why the Gupta dynasty got transformed to a golden dynasty, to a golden era in the history of India, is all because of the works of or the major achievements of Chandragupta I and Samudragupta, which again got followed up by his son, Samudragupta's son, Vikramaditya. So Vikramaditya is again a great king who came in the history of India and was known to be a person of great scholar, a person of great political thinker, you can say. He was the great person who had a political vision, how to annex or how to occupy, how to extend the area. The first focus was he played some political conspiracies even when he got his daughter married to the Vodka king or the Northern Deccan king. That was a political conspiracy, according to which he got stronger and he started attacking the different regions and occupied, annexed many of the areas. The third thing was he believed that a growth and development of a dynasty, of a particular kingdom can only take place when there is a flow of money. When there is a flow of money, means the money should come, then only such a big military system, such a big kingdom can be maintained. So for that he made the efforts to expand the trade. He started exploring the business ideas and extending the trade practices to the different parts, and he even occupied the ports. Ports were the major sources of business through which business dealings were done. Like today we have the communication channel in the form of transportation, in the form of good network of road system. We have the airways through which the businesses explore or businesses takes place. But during those time it was only the inland ways or the waterways through which, through the ports, through which the development of the business used to take place. So when he got mixed up with the Vodka king, he actually annexed different areas and occupied the ports. He ruled over the port so that the business exploration could take place. So these all were a bit of plan which he made, and he succeeded in exploring the areas, occupying the areas. When Fahyal came to India, Fahyal was a Chinese traveler, a great scholar, a pilgrim who came to India during the region of Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya. He even awarded the king, even spoke good about him, that the king was benevolent, wise and just. Just because he did not pay much of the attention to the Buddhist and the Jainism monks. Means the religious policies, as you can say, of the Vikramaditya was not so kind. He did not pay attention to the Buddhism or the Buddhist pilgrims and the Jainism. That is why, since Huayan was a Buddhist pilgrim only, so he thought that his attention got diverted, or the king did not pay tribute to the Buddhist. That is why he wrote it that he was wise, benevolent, and just. So, in detail, we'll see now what is the period of Chandragupta Vikramaditya. Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya, both the names are same. Do not get confused. The son of Samudragupta is Chandragupta II. Chandragupta II, or the other name is Vikramaditya. Okay, Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya. He was the son of Samudragupta. He was the son of Samudragupta. So Samudragupta's son Chandragupta II ascended the throne in 375 AD and ruled for almost 40 years. He ruled till 414. His period was from 375 AD to 440 AD. This is the time period in which he ruled. He is also known as Vikramaditya. There are inscriptions about him at Udayagiri, Mathura and Sanchi, and on the iron pillar at Mehrauli in Delhi. I told you the major achievements of the kings during those times, since there were no major sources of writing, there were no major sources of recording. So the kings usually used to record, usually used to write down their achievements in the form of inscriptions, coins, or on the pillars or on the rocks, so that the generations which are yet to come, they must know what were the major achievements and how and what did the king perform or do for the subjects. Huayan, a Chinese Buddhist pilgrim and a scholar, came to India during the region of Chandragupta II. He described Chandragupta as a wise, just and benevolent ruler. You must know, many a times a question is asked, during whose regions did Huayan come to India? So Huayan came to India during the Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya's reign. One question. Second question is, what was his views or what was his thought about the Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya? So he believed that the king was wise, benevolent and just because he did not pay much tribute to the Buddhist pilgrims. Who was Huayan? Huayan was a Buddhist pilgrim, okay, Chinese Buddhist pilgrim and a scholar. Now, Chandragupta Vikramaditya's achievements. Why was he wise? Why was he benevolent? What was the major reason that he was known to be a wise king? So, what were his major achievements? Chandragupta II strengthened his position by giving his daughter in marriage to Vadka prince of Northern Deccan. I told you he played a political conspiracy. The conspiracy was that he got settled to the Northern Deccan king, that he will give his marriage for the daughter. The moment they got in relationship, the moment they got married, so he became politically very strong, and he, along with the Vadka prince, he has started annexing the different neighboring parts and occupying the different parts. Chandragupta defeated the Shakas of Gujarat, Saurashtra, Malwa and annexed their territories. The basic reason was to attack and occupy, attack and occupy. He thus won control over the PG ports of Brock and Cambay. I told you he was even a great explorer of business, great explorer of trade. That is why he started occupying the ports of different areas, so that the business could flourish, the money could be generated. He made Ujjain his second capital. Under him, the Guptas reached peak of their glory. Ujjain was his second capital, as you can say, or you can say it was the headquarters wherein the control used to take place. The trade control used to take place. And during the Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya reign only, the Guptas rose to the highest peak. The question may be asked, during whose region? Guptas were at their highest peak. It is Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya. Now, Chandragupta II promoted trade, art, and architecture. He is said to have patronized 9 renowned scholars, poets, and artists who were called 9 gems or Navratna. See, he was a person of multi-dynamic personality. He was multi-dynamic personality. When I say about Chandragupta II, that means he had a different vision. He had a different thought. His political planning was different. So he accordingly mixed up different elements of success, and in which he succeeded in the history of India. He had a great scholarship of 9 people who actually sat in his court, and they used to advise him on different matters, be it astronomy, be it medicine, be it the political conspiracy, be it the welfare of the subjects. So all those decisions were taken after the advices of these 9 gems only. Okay, who were called as Navratna. Kalidas, a great poet, was one of the 9 gems in his court. In the middle of the 5th century AD, hordes of Central Asian tribes called Huns invaded the Gupta Empire and weakened it. Some of the Huns even settled in Punjab, Kashmir, and Malwa. By the 6th century AD, the Gupta Empire had broken up. So, this is the loophole. By the beginning of the 5th century, many of the troops entered to the different parts, and they started settling over here in Kashmir, Malwa, Punjab. And they got together and started invading the Guptas. So that was the major reason how the Guptas got weakened, or you can say they did not protect their boundaries so well. That is why these people entered in the troops, in the form of troops called Huns. So our class will put a stop over here only. In the next class we shall talk about the Faience achievements or Faience accounts. Then the administration under Gupta, how was the administration under the Guptas. Thank you, class.